Welcome back to the Expensive Coins History channel, coin enthusiasts and collectors. Today, we're diving into one of the most intriguing coins from modern French numismatic history, the 1986 France half-franc coin with no mint mark. You might be wondering if this small piece of nickel can actually be worth a lot of money in today's market. The answer depends on a mix of history, rarity, condition, and collector demand. So, stay tuned as we explore everything about its background, features, and real market value in 2025. To understand the 1986 1/2 franc coin, we first need to look at the monetary history of France. After France revalued its currency in the 1960s, the new franc series became the standard. The 1/2 franc denomination was part of this modern reform, circulating widely during the final decades before France transitioned to the euro in 2002. The 1986 issue marked one of the later years of production for the denomination, and it reflects the economic simplicity of everyday transactions in France at the time. This was small change, a coin used for vending machines, transport tickets, and daily markets. Yet, over the years, as the franc disappeared, these coins became nostalgic artifacts of pre-Euro France. The 1986 half-franc coin carries an elegant design that represents both agriculture and liberty, two key themes in French national identity. On the obverse side, we see la semeuse, or the sower, a symbolic female figure scattering seeds as she walks. Designed by the famous artist Oscar Rodi, this image has appeared on several French coins since the late 19th century. It represents growth, labor, and the prosperity of the French Republic. Around her, the words République Française are inscribed, affirming national pride and unity. The reverse side features a single olive branch placed beneath the denomination, 1/2 franc. Above it appears the powerful motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité, meaning liberty, equality, and brotherhood. At the bottom, the year 1986 is displayed. The edge of the coin is reeded, and the overall finish carries a clean, silvery tone thanks to its nickel composition. The absence of a visible mint mark sometimes leads collectors to refer to this issue as the no mint mark version, though in reality, all 1986 half-francs were struck in Paris, which often used very subtle markings or omitted them entirely in this period. This coin was made of pure nickel, giving it a silvery metallic appearance and excellent durability. It weighs approximately 4.5 grams and has a diameter of 19.5 millimeters. Its modest size made it one of the smallest denominations in circulation. Although intended for everyday use, the coin's design and craftsmanship reflect the high quality of French minting. Every detail of the sewer's robes and the finely engraved lettering shows the precision of the Paris mint's work. Now let's talk about mintage and rarity. The 1986 France 1/2 franc had an official mintage of roughly 110 million pieces. That's a massive number, meaning the coin was produced for widespread circulation throughout France. For that reason, this coin is not considered rare in general terms. Millions were struck and used heavily in everyday commerce. Most examples found today show clear signs of wear from decades of circulation. However, coins preserved in uncirculated or mint condition are much harder to find, and those examples are what collectors tend to value most. While the 1986 half-franc isn't rare by mintage, collector interest in it remains steady because it represents the final years of the French franc before the euro era. The no mint mark appearance adds a touch of intrigue, leading some to believe it's a special variety, even though it's actually standard. True rarity within this issue lies only in special conditions, for instance, coins that remain sealed in original mint sets or those that exhibit exceptional luster and no circulation marks. Occasionally, error coins, such as off-center strikes or double-die features, can appear. These can fetch significantly higher prices depending on the nature and clarity of the error. If you have a 1986 1/2 franc coin, look closely at these details to confirm authenticity and assess its grade. The figure of the sewer should be sharply defined, with visible folds in her dress and distinct lines in the rays behind her. The text, République Française, should be crisp, not faded or uneven. The reverse should have clean lettering for Liberté, Galet, Fraternité, and a well-centered date at the bottom. Check the edge for consistent reading and no signs of tampering or bending. Coins showing full mint luster, no scratches, and no discoloration are classified as uncirculated and can command a significant premium. Let's now discuss what most collectors want to know. How much is the 1986 no mint mark France 1/2 franc worth today in 2025, in circulated condition? This coin generally trades between $2 and $5, depending on wear and appearance. Coins in excellent uncirculated or mint state can sell for $8 to $12, sometimes a bit higher if presented in original mint packaging or as part of a collector's set. Exceptionally graded examples, especially those authenticated and encapsulated by professional grading services, can occasionally reach $15 to $20. While not a fortune, it's impressive for what was once a low-value coin used for small transactions. Error coins or uniquely preserved specimens may be valued far higher, sometimes attracting dedicated buyers who are passionate about varieties from the French franc era. The investment potential of the 1986 1/2 franc coin is modest, but that doesn't mean it lacks appeal. This piece holds historical and sentimental value for collectors who appreciate European coins from before the Euro transition. It represents a snapshot of everyday life in France during the 1980s, an era before digital payments and plastic money took over. As time passes, fewer pristine examples remain available, and gradual attrition may increase the value slightly over the next few decades. For collectors assembling a full set of French franc coins, owning a bright, uncirculated 1986 half franc is a must. So, what can we conclude about the 1986 France 1/2 franc coin with no mint mark? It's not a rare coin by mintage, but it is a wonderful historical artifact. Its design, representing the sower and the French Republic's ideals, makes it artistically significant. Its modest value today, ranging from a few dollars in circulated condition to over $10 in mint state, reflects its accessibility to collectors of all levels. If you find one of these in your coin box or among inherited collections, don't dismiss it, especially if it's shiny and well preserved. It's a piece of French history, a symbol of national identity, and a reminder of an era when even the smallest denomination carried artistic pride. The 1970 France half franc coin without mint mark, a small yet fascinating piece from France's modern numismatic history. We'll explore its origin, design, mintage, rarity, collector demand, and the coin's actual worth in today's market as of 2025. Stay with us till the end to understand whether this coin could be a hidden treasure or just an interesting collectible. The 1/2 franc coin of 1970 belongs to the era of the French Fifth Republic, a time when the country's coinage was transitioning into the new franc system. This coin carries the famous semeuse, or the sower, design, created by the renowned French engraver Oscar Rodi. The design symbolizes progress, growth, and the prosperity of the nation, showing a woman sowing seeds under the rising sun, a beautiful and timeless representation of the Republic's ideals: liberty, equality, and fraternity. The coin was minted by the Paris Mint, which is one of the oldest and most prestigious mints in the world. The 1970 issue is made of nickel, weighs approximately 4.5 grams, and measures 19.5 millimeters in diameter. Its edge is reeded, and it has a bright silvery appearance. Unlike earlier coins that sometimes carried specific mint marks, the 1971 half franc coin has no additional mint mark, which simply means it was produced in Paris, the main French mint, and not in any regional branch. Therefore, when you see no mint mark on this coin, it is actually the standard issue for that year. The year 1970 saw a large mintage of around 42 million pieces, which means these coins were struck in massive quantities for daily use throughout France. They were part of the country's everyday pocket change, used for buying newspapers, small groceries, and daily essentials. Because of this high mintage, many examples of the 1971 half franc still exist today. However, most surviving pieces show wear from circulation, making truly uncirculated coins harder to find and more desirable among collectors. The obverse side of the coin features the elegant figure of la semeuse, walking left while scattering seeds, symbolizing the nation sowing the seeds of progress and renewal. Around her are the words, République Française. The reverse side carries the denomination 1/2 franc with the year 1970 below it, surrounded by the French motto Liberté, Égalité, Fraternité. An olive branch design completes the reverse, representing peace and harmony. Although it was a common coin, the artistic design and historical symbolism make it one of the most aesthetically pleasing coins of the modern French Republic. Now, let's talk about rarity. The 1970 France 1/2 franc coin without a mint mark is not rare in circulation, because of its large mintage and widespread use. However, rarity in coins is not only determined by how many were made, it's also determined by how many survived in perfect, original condition. Circulated examples are very common and hold minimal value, but uncirculated or mint state specimens are much harder to find. Coins that have never been used, showing sharp details and original luster, are highly desirable to collectors who aim to complete full-date runs of the French Samoura's series. Another factor that could influence value is the presence of errors or varieties, such as misstrikes, off-center strikes, or double-die features, though such errors are quite rare for this specific year and denomination. If you ever find a coin that looks unusual or imperfectly struck, it may be worth submitting to a professional grading service for verification. Coin grading is one of the most important aspects of valuation. For the 1970 1/2 franc coin, condition can range from poor to good, circulated noticeable wear, faded details, and scratches, worth very little, fine to very fine, light wear but still readable and detailed, modest collector value, extremely fine, minor wear with strong details and some luster, collectible and desirable, uncirculated, mint state no wear, full shine, perfect strike. Most valuable condition. Collectors and dealers often seek coins in fleur de coin, FDC, or brilliant uncirculated BU condition. These are pristine examples that can command several times the value of an average coin. Now to the question everyone wants answered: how much is the 1970 no mint mark 1/2 franc worth in 2025? Because it is made of nickel and not silver, its metal content value is minimal. The coin's worth is entirely numismatic, meaning it depends on collector interest, condition, and rarity of preservation. Here's a realistic price breakdown for 2025. Average circulated condition, between 20 cents and $1 USD, very fine to extremely fine condition, around $1 to $3 USD, uncirculated or mint state condition, anywhere from $4 to $8 US, depending on visual appeal and demand. Certified FDC specimen could reach $10 to $15 US at best, especially if sold through specialized numismatic auctions or to collectors completing full French series. In local markets outside France, for instance, in South Asia or other regions, the coin might sell for the equivalent of a few hundred local currency units, mainly as a collectible novelty or part of an international coin collection. While it may not make you rich, its historical and cultural significance gives it sentimental and educational value for collectors and students of French coinage, although not a rare or precious metal coin. The 1970 France 1/2 franc is admired for several reasons. It represents a period of transition in France's monetary history before the euro. The Samoura's design is iconic, deeply rooted in French art and symbolism. It's an accessible entry point for beginner collectors learning about world coins. Uncirculated examples display stunning detail and are affordable for collectors of modest budgets. This combination of beauty, history, and affordability keeps the coin relevant in the collector's world even in 2025. From an investment standpoint, the coin's value is not expected to rise dramatically. Its abundance limits growth potential. However, maintaining coins in top condition and preserving them in protective holders could help retain their modest value over time. Coins graded and encapsulated by professional services such as PCGS or NGC can attract higher bids from serious buyers. If you're building a French coin collection, the 1970 1/2 franc is a must-have for completeness, and in a set of all years, it helps tell the full story of the French new franc era. To conclude, the 1970 France 1/2 franc coin without mint mark is a fascinating piece of history that reminds us of France's rich cultural and economic past. It is not rare or worth a fortune, but it remains a beautiful, collectible coin that carries the spirit of the Republic in its elegant design. In 2025, the average market value stays modest, from under $1 for circulated pieces to around $10 for pristine uncirculated examples. Still, for many collectors, this coin is priceless as a part of history, symbolizing progress, artistry, and the resilience of France's national identity. The 1991 no mint mark France 1/2 franc coin. You might be wondering, how valuable is it, what makes it special, and could it really be worth a lot of money today in 2025? In this video, we'll uncover its history, rarity, design details, and real-world market value. Stay tuned till the end to find out whether your coin could be a hidden gem. The French 1/2 franc coin from 1991 belongs to the final generation of coins minted before the introduction of the euro. This coin was part of the New Franc series, which started in 1959 after France revalued its currency. The design on the coin, known as la semeuse, meaning the sower, is one of the most famous motifs in French numismatic history. It was created by the sculptor Louis-Oscar Rodi and has been used on multiple French coins throughout the 20th century. The obverse side of the coin features the graceful figure of a woman sowing seeds as she walks, representing growth, prosperity, and renewal, symbols deeply connected to the spirit of France. The reverse side shows the denomination 1/2 franc, the year 1991, and a small olive branch, a sign of peace and prosperity. This coin was minted in nickel, with a diameter of about 19.5 mm and a weight of approximately 4.5 grams. It has a reeded edge and a clean, modern look typical of late 20th century European coinage. Now, the term no mint mark refers to coins that lack the small symbol usually identifying the mint where they were produced. In 1991, most French coins were struck at the Paris Mint, which typically used a tiny horn of plenty as its mark. However, some 1/2 franc coins from that year show no visible mint mark at all. This variant has attracted attention among collectors who seek unusual or slightly different production runs. While this does not automatically make it extremely rare, it does make it distinctive, and collectors often include it as a variant when building complete sets of modern French coinage. The 1991 1/2 franc coin had a large mintage, with nearly 50 million pieces struck for circulation. That means it was a common coin in everyday use across France during the early 1990s. Because of that large production figure, most examples are not rare today. Millions were produced, and many survived in circulation, in collections, or in old savings jars. However, condition plays a massive role in determining value. Coins that have been heavily circulated with scratches or discoloration are considered common and hold only modest collector value. On the other hand, coins that remain in uncirculated or mint state condition, showing full luster and no signs of wear, are much more desirable and can be worth significantly more. Even though it's not a rare coin by mintage, the 1991 1/2 franc has several qualities that make it attractive to collectors. Iconic design. The sower design is an emblem of French artistry and national symbolism. Historical importance. Being minted near the end of the Franc era adds emotional and historical value. Transition period. It represents the closing chapter before France moved to the euro, making it a nostalgic piece. Variant appeal. The no mint mark version provides a talking point for those who specialize in minor die differences or minting anomalies. For these reasons, it's a coin that's easy to love and fun to collect, even if it doesn't command astronomical prices. Let's talk about what affects the value of this coin in today's market. The key factors are condition. A coin in brilliant uncirculated condition can be worth many times more than one that's heavily worn. Rarity of the variant. If your 1991 coin truly has no mint mark, it may hold a premium among collectors seeking that specific version. Market demand. Interest in modern French coins has been growing among collectors worldwide, especially for clean, well-preserved examples. Presentation. Coins stored in protective holders or graded by a professional service often sell for more. Now let's look at what this coin is worth in 2025. For a circulated 1991 no mint mark 1/2 franc coin, the general value usually ranges between $1 and $5, depending on condition. Coins in excellent uncirculated condition, with original shine and no visible marks, may sell for $10 to $25 to collectors who are completing sets, proof or mint set examples. If you happen to have one preserved in its original packaging, can be valued even higher, sometimes reaching $40 to $100, depending on the market and the buyer's interest. While these amounts may not make anyone rich, they reflect how collector demand can turn an everyday circulation coin into a small treasure for those who appreciate its beauty and story. If you own one of these coins, here are some useful tips. Do not clean the coin. Cleaning can scratch the surface and reduce its collector value. Handle with care. Always hold the coin by its edges to avoid fingerprints or oil damage. Store it properly. Use coin flips or holders made from safe, non-acidic materials. Check for details. Look closely for the absence of a mint mark, and verify the coin's strike quality. Consider grading. If you believe your coin is in pristine condition, having it graded by a professional service can confirm its state and boost its market appeal. These small steps can preserve your coin's quality and help it retain or even increase its value over time. Many collectors ask whether the 1991 no mint mark 1/2 franc coin is worth a lot. The honest answer, in most cases, it's modestly valuable. It's not a rare coin in circulation, but in uncirculated or proof form, it becomes much more collectible. It might not make you a fortune, but it's a meaningful and historically rich piece of French coinage. And for many collectors, that heritage is priceless. The 1991 no mint mark France 1/2 franc coin is a fascinating reminder of a time just before France transitioned to the euro. With its elegant design, solid craftsmanship, and symbolic imagery, it remains one of the most attractive small-denomination coins of the modern franc era. While it's common in circulated grades, pristine examples are increasingly sought after by collectors. Its value in 2025 reflects not just the metal it's made of, but the history and artistry it represents. So whether you're holding one as a keepsake, considering selling it, or just discovering your passion for coin collecting, this little piece of metal tells a big story about France's cultural and economic heritage. Thank you for watching this in-depth guide on the 1991 no mint mark France 1/2 franc coin. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more coin history and value videos, and let us know in the comments what rare or interesting coins you'd like us to cover next. Until next time, happy collecting, and may your coins always shine with history and value.